Welcome back to Black News Tonight. 5 years ago, when then San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick decided to not stand for the national anthem, it unleashed a storm of epic controversy. But cut through the debates over the flag or taking a knee or even how the NFL responded to the backlash, and some say most of us might have missed the point. A recent piece in The Nation titled "We Still Get the Story Wrong" argues that it's not so much Kaepernick the man we should be focused on, but the mass movement of thousands of young people he helped to inspire. The author of that article also has a soon-to-drop book on the subject. The book is called The Kaepernick Effect: Taking a Knee, Changing the World. And the man himself is here right now to join us on the show. It is my honor to welcome my friend, my comrade, sports editor for The Nation magazine and the author of 11 books on politics and sports, the amazing Dave Zirin. Dave, good to see you as always. Your piece in The Nation says that young people around the country were not taking a knee to be trendy. They weren't necessarily even trying to help Kaepernick get his job back at the NFL. So why were they doing it?
Oh, well, first and foremost, it's an honor to be on this show. It's one of my favorites. Second, I got to say, when I interviewed about 100 young people who took a knee, what came out over and over again was that what Colin Kaepernick provided for them as young athlete activists was a method and a language for protest. All of a sudden, they knew there was something they could do because they were upset about police brutality and racism in their communities. So Kaepernick takes that knee and all of a sudden it's like a Rosetta Stone. It's a map. We can do this too. And that, I think, changed entire communities, not just teams, not just coach-player relationships, but entire communities of the people I talked to in terms of the polarization it sparked and the conversations it sparked. But when I spoke to people, the name that came up over and over again was not Colin Kaepernick. It certainly wasn't someone like Roger Goodell. The name that kept coming up was Trayvon Martin. I mean, no matter if I was talking to someone from Beaumont, Texas, or someone from Seattle, Washington. And what it did for me as somebody of my age and as a white writer was it made me realize that for somebody who's 19 years old, Trayvon Martin is murdered when they're 10. And so for them, Trayvon Martin is their Emmett Till. I mean, he is the person of their generation who made them realize unequivocally when they were young that something is very broken in this country and that there's a gap between what this country promises, particularly Black Americans, and what the country actually provides in terms of opportunity and in terms of freedom.
Talk to me about the book a little bit more. You said you talked to hundreds of people. I mean, who did you interview exactly? What kind of people? What was your criteria for inclusion?
Oh, inclusion was if you took a knee during the anthem as a junior high school, college, ultimate frisbee player. I mean, I actually was going for full sports diversity. I was all in on wanting to speak also to girls and boys, men and women. Like I wanted gender balance as well, because that's another thing that people have missed. Like I wrote that people missed the story, and the story is in these young people. The story is the fact that people took Colin Kaepernick's moment and turned it into their own movement. And one of the other things I saw in speaking to them, and speaking to dozens and dozens of these people, is that there's a direct line between what Colin Kaepernick did in August of 2016 in refusing to stand and the protests in the summer of 2020, which we need to say, and I feel like we need to say this every time we talk about the summer of 2020, these were the largest protests in the history of the United States. The history in terms of sheer numbers and number of states where there were protesters after the police murder of George Floyd. And when I spoke to the young people, I started doing this book at the start of the pandemic just because I didn't want their history to be forgotten, what they did to be forgotten, because I was worried it was being thrown in the memory hole that all these young people did this. But then after the demonstration started, I called them back. And sure enough, all of these young people who were just athletes taking their knee, trying to start a conversation in their community, all of a sudden they're leading protests in the dozens, in the hundreds, even in one case in the thousands in their community. So it's not like Colin Kaepernick built the road to 2020. We know that was built by countless people whose names we do not know, and that was also built by the horrors that we feel in the face of police violence. But he built a road. to 2020. And that's what I discovered in putting this book together.
You talk about people protesting and the kinds of protests that were taking place around the country and how he mobilized and energized people from moment to movement. But what were the protests about? It seemed to me that in my day and in your day, we had some pretty powerful mainstream protests, but we weren't talking about defunding. We weren't talking about abolition in the same way. I mean, talk to me about the kind of nature of the politics and how radical they were or were not as we move through this post-Kaepernick moment.
Huge range. That's a terrific question. Huge range in terms of how radical the demands being put forward were. In one case, I spoke to this young woman from New Orleans who took a knee in high school because she wanted to have a school assembly where they spoke about Alton Sterling, who was, of course, murdered in the summer of 2016 by police, caught on camera. That's just one example. She wanted an assembly. That's all she wanted. In another case, a football player I spoke to, he wanted to raise the question of abolition to the people in his community and what would abolition of police look like. And frankly, some of the issues you were raising earlier in this broadcast, he wanted to raise the question of what is freedom if in a country that has the largest incarceration rate in the world. So a whole variety of people. And I'll tell you another common thread. It's so interesting, like whether you're talking about Seattle, Washington, or Beaumont, Texas, there's a teacher there somewhere providing support for those students, not pulling the strings in any way, shape, or form, but just there to say to the student when it's done, when everybody's mad at the student for starting all this controversy, when teammates are against them for what they did, when coaches are suspect because they want all the players to be focused on winning and listening to what they have to say, there's a teacher giving them a slap on the back and saying, good going. We needed that at this school. We needed that in this community. And so that's another thing I saw in talking to people from all these diverse backgrounds throughout the United States.
What do you see, because you're a sports writer and you're also a brilliant political mind and you intersect those two things as well as anybody I've ever seen. What do you see right now as the state of the modern athlete? There was this moment where people would, very nostalgically say, oh, we had Muhammad Ali in our day. We had Jim Brown in our day. We had these people who spoke up. And then there was this long gap where people said, oh, there's the Michael Jordans of the world who won't say anything. And now we're at a moment where maybe there's a renaissance, or maybe they're more progressive as a whole than others, or maybe we're missing the point. Where is the modern athlete in terms of political engagement, political activism?
It's interesting. I spoke to John Carlos, the 1968 Olympian who raised his fist, of course, on the medal stand, and I asked him that very question. And he said to me, you know what? In our day, we weren't very wide. There weren't actually that many of us, but we were deep. And he said, today, people are getting wider and deeper all the time. What impressed Dr. Carlos was the sheer number of athletes who are protesting: high school, college, professional, men, women, diversity of sports. I mean, it's an unbelievable time to be alive if you care about athletes leveraging their power, particularly Black athletes and particularly white athletes trying to act in solidarity to try to actually confront racism and be anti-racist in the United States. This is a remarkable time to be alive, to see it all. That being said, I would argue that 2021 is very different from 2020. 2021, I believe we are seeing in sports a reassertion of hierarchy and a reassertion of authority by the powers that be in sports as a response to what happened in 2020. I mean, symbolically, we saw in the NBA court, it said Black Lives Matter, it said end racism. They're not on the court anymore. And, that's not to take a particular shot at the NBA, a league that I very much imbibe in, but it's to say that there has been a reassertion of hierarchy in 2021 to tell the athletes who are stepping out and standing up in 2020, hey, it's back to business. You see that in the backlash against Naomi Osaka. You even see that in fan behavior towards players during the NBA playoffs, this idea of we're back, we're in charge. And it's going to be very interesting going forward to see how athletes respond to the idea that protest is not as popular as it was a year ago.
Absolutely, and it'll really be a sign of how impactful Colin Kaepernick has been, how strong the Kaepernick effect was. And based on your brilliant book, it was very powerful. And I think moving forward, we'll see, I hope we see, athletes pushing back against power. Again, everybody protests when it's easy. It's almost not even a protest.
Exactly.
But when something is at stake, that's when it really matters, man. And your book gives us a brilliant insight into that. David, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, man. Everybody, check out the book. Check out the book. It is called The Kaepernick Effect, Taking a Knee, Changing the World. It drops September 14th. You don't want to miss it. You can get it anywhere books are sold, but you should especially buy it at bookshop and UncleBobby's.com. Everybody, join the conversation. We want to hear from you. Head over to our Instagram page. It's BNC News. It's also on Twitter the same way. Let us know how you feel. Also, visit the website, bnc.tv, and subscribe to our YouTube page to check out clips from the show.